Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel, continuing our discussion on understanding the planetary placements in different zodiac signs, where we are not restraining ourselves that the way results of planets in different signs have been explained in the classical text. Like the way, for example, if Venus, which tells about your love, your relationship, prospects of wealth, so we all know that if Venus is going to be placed in the Taurus, in the Libra, in the Pisces, it is going to be manifesting good results. But what if you have got Venus placed in the Cancer? What if your Venus is placed in the Gemini? So guys, over here we are not trying to restrict ourselves. All what is expected out of you is that you have got a specific planetary alignments in your natal chart for a specific reason. All what is expected out of you is to live your life harmoniously as per the demand and need of your planets. Like the way, guys, definitely Venus, which represents the prospects of relationship. But let's say, for example, if in your 7th house Venus is conjunct with Ketu, or you have got a Venus ruled signs like Taurus or Libra in the 7th house and Ketu is being placed over there, so it hardly matters what kind of qualities Venus represents, on which state or dignity Venus find itself comfortable. Just because now Ketu has got an influence over it, so that means you might be more happy in a matrimonial tie with a partner who is going to have a spiritual bent of mind. So same way, guys, following the same bandwagon, in this video we will pick up our discussion on the planet Mars. So guys, like the way you all know this thing, that Mars is one of the very most important planet in our life, in our natal chart. Only if you have got Mars to be placed, strengthened in someone's chart, it hardly matters how other planets are placed, you will have the necessary energy, power, dynamism, confidence to conquer things, to achieve things, to withstand any sort of hardship, any sort of resistance or obstacles in the life. Also guys, like if you will go by the like Bhrigu Nandi Nadi Jyotish, over there they have also attached Mars as the husband in a woman's chart. But just because Mars is a eternally youthful planet, so I would say that from even females point of view as well, so most of the girls want to date Mars in their high school, in their college, but once it comes down to marrying someone, they would definitely want to settle down with someone who has got strong Jupiter. So the point which I'm saying over here is that because whenever two people come into a relationship, any sort of union, it gives completion. The same way the concept of yin and yang, so same way Mars, which represents the alpha masculine qualities. So whomsoever will be attracted towards a man, you will definitely find Mars's placement in the natal chart will give definite answer to that. So definitely guys, in today's modern day and age, when we talk about your conviction, in a way Mars also can play a very important role in shaping up someone's character as well, because all those things which could raise a question mark in your actions, in your conduct, are definitely controlled or governed by the planet Mars, like your sexual desires, excessive greed, excessive aggression. And like the way we all know this thing, that majority of the problems caused by planet Mars are somehow our personality based. Like Mars is not as karmic planet like which could be the domain of Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, where whatever problem and hardship you are facing in this lifetime, the answer to that might be encrypted with some sort of baggage which your soul is carrying from the past life. When it comes down to the planet Mars, all what is needed is you have to realign or reshape or rework on your attitude, the way you are carrying yourself, and that is something which we will try to understand in this video. So again guys, before we'll jump into the customized results, do not watch this video with this mindset that I'm going to be telling you that Mars being in this sign is favorable, will give you good results. Mars being in this sign is going to be creating obstructions for you. All what I'm trying to say over here is that in whichever zodiac sign your Mars is placed, it demands this sort of attitude, this sort of actions or manifestation of energy through you. Because again guys, over here we will be focusing more on the way you will manifest your energies, you will exert yourself, the way you will behave around your siblings, around your friends, and also guys anything to do with your conviction, your morals, your drive, all of that we will try to understand, tapering it down to in which zodiac sign your Mars is placed. So okay guys, let's just start our discussion. If you have got your Mars to be placed in the Aries sign, so guys, this placement generally tells about that no matter what happens, you have to be the first one to initiate. Guys, you have got this placement with a proper legitimate reason attached to it. Whenever it comes down to the Aries, these are among those people who have got this innate potential to be the first in any given field. I would not say a pioneer, but definitely when it comes down to the first comer advantage, you could have that if you have important planets being placed over there in the Aries. So all what matters is that guys, whenever it comes down to your energy, your drive, so only if you are proactive enough to take the chance, take the initiative, you will definitely get rewarded via this placement of Mars in the Aries. Like the way guys, because Mars also has got very strong protective instincts as well. Now this could be towards the partner, this could be towards the friends, this could be towards the brothers, siblings, or any of the loved ones. And again guys, if you watch all these superhero movies and all, whenever any of the chaos happens, the whole general public is running in the opposite direction, but the superheroes, cops, they are running towards the threat. So that means they are going there to safeguard everyone. So if you have got your Mars placed in the Aries, this is one of such a placement where the universe expect lot out of you. You could not be among those where just at a first sign of any threat, you will try to safeguard yourself. Even if you have to put yourself on the line in order to safeguard the interest or security of your loved ones, you have to be out there in the front. This is what the placement of Mars in the Aries expect out of you. So yes guys, when it comes down to your drive, your courage, your leadership style, or your attitude, your vibe, so with your Mars being placed in the Aries, definitely it hardly matters what age group you are in, there will be a degree and sense of youthfulness which will be expected out of your body language if you have got your Mars placed in the Aries. And definitely guys, till the time you are not gonna have that first comer advantage or approach or attitude, all of your energies, all of your efforts might not reap you the best of the returns. Moving ahead guys, now let's say for example, if your Mars is placed in the Taurus sign. So guys, like the way you know this thing that with this kind of placement, like the way at the beginning of this video I mentioned this thing that Mars can also play a very pivotal role in shaping up our character, our conviction for right and wrong, our discipline. And again guys, Taurus has got lot of energy and attributes of your virtues, your ethics, your principles, your morals attached to it. Now with your Mars being placed in the Taurus, whatsoever your belief are, universe will expect you to be very firm, not only firm but also very protective towards it. Like let's say for example, because Taurus also represents the Kalpurush Kundli second house energy as well. So even if you have to get into some sort of verbal argument with people in order to defend your dharma, in order to defend your convictions, now definitely in a graceful, respectful way, but this is what Mars will expect out of you and this is how it will reward you. So safeguarding the interest of your family, interest of your virtues, your morals and all will be expected out of you. Also guys, because when it comes down to the Taurus energy, so somehow the matters of our possession are strongly attached over there. So this is a kind of a placement where you need to be very proactive enough and you need to learn the skills of how you can accumulate money. And over here again guys, because Mars has got a lot to do with the give and take of the favor. Like Mars is not as benevolent as Jupiter could be, that you did something and you forget, or like a Saturn, you did that with a serviceful attitude, and it is not as opportunistic as Mercury could be. Mars is like a planet which believes strongly in give and take. Okay, when you were in crisis, I helped you. Now this is a favor which I forgot the dialogue of the Godfather. So when the right time will come, when I will ask you to return the favor, you have to do that. So this is this sort of attachment or placement of Mars in the Taurus, which tells about that definitely for your possession, for any sort of accumulation of the wealth, your contacts, your resourcefulness will help you, and you do not have to sort of hesitate in asking out the favors from the people at the right times as well. And again guys, because Mars, which in itself represents land related interest and all, so if you have got your Mars placed in the Taurus, in lot many cases it has been seen that people who generally gain a lot from some sort of interest which they get on the landed properties and all. Now this could be a different case that you are into a landlord tenant business or any of the construction real estate business and all, but this could be a very good placement if you have got your Mars to be placed in the Taurus. So what matters is that how strongly you defend your conviction and your morals and the interest of your family. Second thing is that never ever hesitate in actually calling out or asking for the favors for all those people who you have helped in the dire times. And also guys, any of the interest connected with the land and property generally benefit people who have got their Mars to be placed in the Taurus. And also guys, like the way I mentioned this thing, with this kind of placement you need to learn, and you have to be very flexible, very agile and very energetic enough to how strongly you're contributing towards your savings and the accumulation of the assets in this lifetime. Moving ahead guys, now let's say for example, if your Mars is placed in the Gemini sign. So guys, as you know that Gemini is a air sign and it is a dual sign. So over here, if you have your Mars being placed over here, so guys, this is a sort of a placement where I do not know whether this is an actual term or not, but like the way we call this thing aggressive marketing, like guerrilla marketing. So this is that sort of placement. So again, whenever you are trying to advertise yourself or promote yourself, so the energy and that vibe of being a problem solver, someone whom others and your audience and your customers can bank upon, so that sort of confidence should exude in all sort of your communication, like in whichsoever form you are exerting, you are presenting yourself. So that degree and sense of youthfulness, energetic, being driven should exude from your all sort of self-expression. Also guys, because when we talk about the Gemini, there is a lot of interest which goes in your skills. So guys, now whether you believe this thing or not, but in whichever capacity we are operating, it's not like that you have to be dancer, you have to be designer, you have to be musician. In whichever field you are working in, there are certain pivotal skill sets which very chiefly and very pinpointedly describe your nature of work. So how disciplined, how sort of perfectionist you are in your skill, in your craft, as a part of your job description, all of that will be very strongly expected out of you. So let's say for example, if I have got my Mars placed in the Gemini, so let's say for example, so when I communicate myself, you should get that energy, and when I promote myself, put any of the billboard for my business, or even at the time, like the way I'm an astrologer, so how much with how much discipline I'm devoting myself in the pursuit of the astrology, in the pursuit of learning more in the field of astrology. So all of that will be expected out of you. Also guys, this is a sort of a placement where brotherhood and friendship plays a very, very important role, because your Mars is placed in the Gemini. Definitely, like the way I always say this thing, that in the dire times other planets might let you down, but Mars is the one planet where even if it has to face any of the brunt, but it will still be there in order to safeguard the interest of its loved ones. So if you have got your Mars placed in the Gemini, so no matter to what extent you have to go to help out people around you, to kind of put yourself on the line to safeguard the interest of your neighbors, of your friends, of the people who are connected to you. So all of that will become very important. Moving ahead guys, now let's say for example if your Mars is placed in the Cancer sign. So guys, this is a sort of a placement where emotions and feelings get very intensified. So guys, it hardly matters whether Mars is placed in the like Cancer sign or the like Scorpio sign or the Pisces sign. One piece of advice for all the water sign people with the energy of Mars being over there, which I have to give, is that be very do not get yourself too much attached emotionally with the people around you, because whenever you will find any of the heartbreak related situation, people with Mars in the water sign, they actually get hurt very badly, and in lot many cases because your Mars is in the water sign, so that hurt very easily quickly take up the form of resentment, revengefulness. Definitely a lot is dependent on the evolutionary level of the soul, person to person. But if your Mars is placed in the Cancer, very first piece of advice to you guys is that just learn how to let go, or do not get too attached to the people around you. Like you have to get the job done, get the work done, and then move on. Second thing is that if your Mars is placed in the Cancer, one word of advice to these people is that always attach your emotions to something which is very higher or larger than yourself, because that will definitely give you a higher purpose in the life. Because again guys, like the way I mentioned this thing, that it's only the, you know, which all sort of people who can be very easily radicalized, taken advantage of, or who take up the path of terrorism and all of that. It's always the energy of Mars being in the water sign. These are the only people who could be brainwashed, who could be radicalized. So only if you have got your emotions and your feelings attached to some higher purpose and higher goals, which is very constructive, very positive as well. So this placement can actually give you some beautiful and amazing results if your Mars is placed in the Cancer. Like let's say for example, anything to do with setting up a unicorn, or building up a $1 billion business, or anything to do with doing something, becoming a politician and serving the masses, or anything in the path of devotion to the gods. So always have your purpose and your goal very high set, larger than you, higher than you, will be very much expected with this placement. Also guys, if your Mars is placed in the Cancer, so my recommendation to these people is that always have some window for the release of the pent up energies. Now this could be in the form of this could be travels as well, this could be any of the hobby, this could be writing poetry, any outdoor activity, gardening, farming as an interest. So that has to be there for the release of the energy if you have got your Mars placed in the Cancer sign. Now guys, for all those people who have got their Mars placed in the Leo sign. So guys, as you know that Leo, which is a fixed sign, it is a fire sign. And now just because the planet of drive, energy, conviction, morals is placed in this sign, so that first of all tells about that you have got this capacity and potential. Universe asks you to put your energies towards something which will add to your public image and reputation. And generally guys, like the way you know this thing, that Mars has got very strong protective instincts as well. So with this sort of placement, if you will actually put yourself on the line in order to safeguard the interest of people around you, this placement of Mars will definitely give you very good results. And again guys, with this sort of placement in your line of work, in your aspiration, in your lifestyle, if you have to deal with, or you are dealing with any of the competitive challenging situation, trust me, Leo in itself is a sign of recognition, of magnetism, personal magnetism. And just because your Mars is placed over there, so Mars only thrive and flourish after competition, after challenges. So this sort of placement only expect out of you that you do not have to hesitate or evade any sort of competitive situation. So yes guys, like the way I mentioned this thing, all those people who are like, we keep on coming across all those Red Bull adventure artist and sports person, and people who are like even in the art and creative field, people who have got a very dynamic, very youthful sort of persona, and who are always inclined towards some heroic art work. So this sort of placement and aligning yourself towards these sort of projects, these sort of attitude in the life will definitely reward you beautifully. Now guys, let's say for example, if you have got your Mars placed in the Virgo. So again guys, this could be a very ultra and hardcore placement. Now see, to begin with, this is one sort of placement which will definitely reward you in long term. The only concern over here is that with this sort of placement, the people around you might not like you very much. So my piece of advice and lesson to you guys is that do not get bothered with the opinion of people around you. Again guys, the concern why Mars and Saturn are not likable planets, because these are among those planets because which there is a discipline in the society, in the world. Whenever you are driving wrong, there is a cop who's going to fine you. That comes in the domain of the Mars. If you have already done something wrong, you have to go to the court where you will see the lawyers, you will see the judge again, who will only give you, sentence you for the wrong actions done by you, which could be the domain of Saturn. We don't like them. So that is the only reason. So if you have got your Mars placed in the Virgo, it will definitely demand that pinpointed focus, determination in your daily life, which might not make you very likable, might not give you a lot many friends, but whomsoever you will bond with, you will vibe with, there will be definitely very strong connection over there. So that is the one piece of advice which I want to give to people who have got Mars placed in the Virgo. Second thing is that guys, definitely your health and your fitness will become very important, because with this sort of placement, because like the way when it comes down to the remedial part, so like the way for Moon we say that travels, being close to water is very therapeutic for you. Same way when it comes down to the Mars, discipline, going to gym, physical exercise becomes very important. So if you have got your Mars placed in the Virgo, so that sort of exertion of energies or getting rid of the pent up nervous energy through physical work will be very much expected out of you if your Mars is placed in the Virgo. And again guys, Mars has got very strong protective instincts. So even if you have to get into fight, get into arguments, just in order to stay firm towards the virtues, towards the rightfulness, towards the right side, and even in order for you to fight for the rights of other people, placement of your Mars being in the Virgo, Mars will definitely reward you with this sort of approach and attitude. Now guys, let's say for example, if your Mars is placed in the Libra. So again guys, this is a good placement in so many ways, because like the way specifically in the chart of the females, Mars represents the kind of guys you are attracted towards. So this is a sort of a placement where definitely you will find someone who is going to be good looking, very attractive, very youthful, a charm in the personality and all. But okay, let's focus on the approach and attitude, the concern of today's discussion. So guys, this is a sort of a placement which definitely win you lot many friends and lot many followers. A lot many people will like you. Again guys, because the approach with the Mars is that Mars does not win over people through cajoling, through sweet talking. Mars prove itself, win over territories, and that's how it become everyone's favorite. So with this sort of placement, in whichever capacity you are operating, your success will definitely win you lot many followers. And again guys, with this sort of placement, definitely anything to do with the feminine energy, anything to do with the dealing with the public or public dealing, so in all those domain, generally these people can do very good. So like you have got this innate capacity to handle any of the conflicting situation, arbitrate, be a problem solver. Again guys, I do not have much idea about what is happening in the world of politics, but I recently like when this Donald Trump's mugshot was released, and I guess after that, like he gave this statement that I should be appreciated for my efforts, the work which I did in order to evade and control North Korea for the use of the nuclear weapons and all, in so many ways. So with your Mars being placed in the Libra, this could also make you a kind of a peacemaker or arbitrator between any of these challenging situations. Like in lot many cases in Indian joint families and all, where you will find that two brothers who are fighting with each other, and the third brother is being called always to arbitrate or problem solve any of the conflicting, challenging, pressing issues and all. So people who have got their Mars placed in the Libra, this is how you will be expected to behave. So yes guys, when it comes down to anything to do with your commercial interest and anything to do with the followership and public dealing, with your Mars placed in the Libra, you do not have to evade these sort of situation, because your Mars is placed over here. This sort of approach and attitude and being in this situation and then using your logic, your drive, your protective instincts will definitely give you very good results if your Mars is placed in the Libra sign. Now guys, let's say for example if your Mars is placed in the Scorpio sign. So guys, one thing which I want to advise to all those people who have got this placement, that if you actually want to get benefited with this placement in your natal chart, so always have a larger purpose in the life, and do not attach yourself very strongly with anyone, because guys, the concern with the Mars in the Scorpio is that with so much of the zeal and enthusiasm you will attach to someone, and if your feelings, your efforts, your favors will not be reciprocated with equal intensity, equal measure, with your Mars being placed in the Scorpio, you are very prone and vulnerable towards slipping very easily towards resentment, revengefulness, feeling very betrayed and hurtfulness. So because of that, just in order to evade those possibilities, people who have got their Mars placed in the Scorpio, it is always advisable that first of all your goal, your purpose has to be very high set. You need to learn how to let go. Find those purposes and those goals. Even if you are getting obsessed with it or towards it, it will only add more towards your success. Also guys, with your Mars placed in the Scorpio, it is not very advisable to reveal all of your plans, all of your goals before in hand. Till the time you have not conquered it, it will be much better to keep it secretive. And also guys, with your Mars being placed in the Scorpio, like the way you know this thing, these are among those people who bond very strongly over a glass of wine, or like whenever they are like socializing in these sort of setup. With Mars being in the Scorpio, generally people vibe and bond with like-minded people in these sort of setting as well. Again guys, a lot is dependent on the Desh, Kal, Patra, but with this sort of placement, and if this is what your approach and attitude is, so I guess Mars, the planet of courage, youthfulness and heroism, might be very much happy with you. Moving ahead guys, now for all those people who have got their Mars placed in the Sagittarius. So again guys, this is a sort of a placement which will definitely expect you to put your energies in something or towards something which will make you an inspiration for the people around you. Like the way guys, you know this thing that when it comes down to Mars, which has got a very protective instincts and which always eagerly wants to help people around it unconditionally, which do not even hesitate in putting itself on the line just to safeguard other people. And guys, because when it comes down to the Sagittarius, it has got all sort of rightfulness attached to it. It has got the capacity to inspire, uplift, guide and motivate the world. So guys, this is a sort of a placement where even if you have to go to the extremes in order to stay firm on the rightfulness, the right path, this placement will definitely reward you with this sort of approach, attitude and mindset. Second thing is that guys, with this sort of placement, the capacity to problem solve, capacity to arbitrate in any sort of given situation, or like motivate people, this can be a very good placement regarding that front. Also guys, with your Mars being placed in the Sagittarius, it is also a very good placement where like it is generally advisable for native to do something as a part of his physical gesture towards the East Devta or God the native has got strong faith in. Again guys, because let's say for example, if your like your Mercury is placed in the 9th house or in any way influencing the Sagittarius sign, so even being at the comfort of your home and reading the holy books might give you a connection with the gods. But if your Mars is placed over there in the Sagittarius, so even towards the path of the higher learning and wisdom, physical exertion of energy might be needed. So like the way, for example, going on pilgrimage or offering some voluntary work and doing unconditional service at the place of religious importance and significance. So with this sort of approach and attitude, Mars in the Sagittarius will definitely be very happy and it will give you some very good results as well. The good part over here is that your actions and your endeavors are going to be divine protected, and you will end up doing things which will uplift, inspire and motivate other people as well. And again guys, with this sort of placement, generally whether we talk about in a woman's point of view, you generally end up finding a very righteous sort of partner. And the thing over here is that because Mars in a woman's chart, I will not say specifically only about the husband's point of view, but yes, the kind of men you are attracted towards, the sort of the masculinity which you are attracted towards, so definitely you will be driven more towards person who is very rightful, very virtuous, who is very well respected in the society. So it's a good placement in all front. Like even like with this sort of placement, so even there is a strong potential and capacity that you will have some very respectful relationship with your brothers, with your siblings as well. Now guys, for all those people who have got their Mars placed in the Capricorn, so guys, as you know that Capricorn, which is a earth sign, which is a movable sign, so the very first thing and the only thing which I have to add over here is that because Mars is placed in such a good dignity and placement, so you always need to have predefined goals in your life, what you want to achieve in the life and how you will conduct or behave yourself when you will reach over there. Because guys, understand this thing, Mars being placed in the water signs could waste its energies brooding over the past or getting resentful, too much of the concerns of feeling very easily hurt. Mars being in the air signs could actually make someone dabble in different things or juggle in different things rather than getting that focus. And Mars being placed in the fire signs could make someone very intensely dynamic. But the beauty of the earth signs and specifically the Capricorn energy over here is that you will definitely find a very strong focus in the exertion of the energies. So definitely guys, all the attributes of the Mars, like the way when we talk about your dealing with your brothers, how you behave with your friends, so all what is expected out of you is a very strong conduct, strong degree and sense of right and wrong. Mars which also tells about your conviction, Mars which also tells about the exertion of your energies, the degree and sense of fearlessness. So again guys, this is a sort of a placement where you have to abide by the truth, abide by the virtues and the rightfulness, and only if you will work out in this way, only if you will not get distracted with the trivials or with the pennies of the life, or you will not waste your energies over there, your this placement of Mars in the Capricorn will definitely reward you very beautifully. So all what matters is that daily self-analysis, that whatsoever you are doing, wheresoever your maximum energies are getting exerted in day-to-day life, how it is contributing towards the important goal of yours. Now guys, for all those people who have got Mars placed in the Aquarius, so again guys, beyond any doubt, Aquarius is a sign of humanitarianism, so that in itself tells about that. And again guys, like the way you know this thing that Mars's nakshatras are shared halfway between two of the pada of the Martian nakshatras, like Mrikshira, Chitra, Dhanishta fall in the earth sign and two padas fall in the air sign. So that in itself tells about that not only Mars has got strong conviction which comes from the earth side, but also capacity to serve is also very strong over there. So guys, with your Mars being placed in the Aquarius, putting yourself online in order to help other people, safeguard the interest of the society, of the community, will become very important. Second thing is that, guys, whenever it comes down to Aquarius, the only one thing which I have to say over here is that you have to always remember what you want to ultimately become in the life. So we all are in a journey of the life, but every day with all the efforts which we are putting in, we are adding something to the big or bigger picture in the mind. So you need to have that thing very clear, that whatever you are doing, what you are eventually ultimately becoming. Also, guys, Mars, which has everything to do with the friendliness, and 11th house or the Aquarius energy has got a lot of the group dynamics and activity, and the group and societies you associate with. So if your Mars is placed over there, so staying very loyal in any of the philosophies you have strong faith in. Let's say, for example, even if you are a politician, so if your Mars is placed in the Aquarius, so you cannot act like, there is one politician in India, I guess his name is Nitish Kumar, who has switched sides to different political parties a lot many times in his political career. You cannot act like that if your Mars is placed in the Aquarius. Again, guys, try to understand this thing. Definitely the basic astrology principles say that Mars does not perform very well in the air signs. Why? Because there is a lot of frivolousness in the air signs, like in Gemini and in the specifically in the Gemini. And why Mars gets debilitated in the Cancer? Because it's your emotions only, your feelings only, which becomes a reason for your fall. But over here, we are not being focused over there. If you have got this placement, it hardly matters how your friends are treating you, but you have to be very fearlessly putting yourself on the line in order to stay loyal, to put everything at stake to help and safeguard the interest of all those people whom you call as your friend. And now, guys, for all those people who have got their Mars placed in the Pisces sign, so guys, like the way you know this thing, that whenever it comes down to the any of the water signs, the way I have been defining and saying this thing repeatedly, that you need to have a higher goal and purpose predefined in the life. You need to learn how to deal with any of the betrayal, any of the rejection gracefully, because with Mars being placed in the water signs, these people are very easy to slip into, you know, vengeance, revengefulness, and resentment and all. So dealing with any of the heart breakup gracefully become very important. Second thing is that, guys, because your Mars is placed in the Pisces, so like the way, guys, I've been saying this thing, that when it comes down to the Pisces energy, so there's a lot of mystery and mysticism which is attached over there. There is a lot of the secrets which are being attached over there. So generally, all those people who have got their Mars placed in the Pisces, they could be very good in unraveling all the secrets and all the mysteries of the life. So my recommendation to those who have Mars placed in the Pisces is that always have that degree and sense of gratefulness. Always believe in the manifestation or the law of attraction. And also with this sort of placement, honoring the omens becomes very important, because here we are not talking about how Ketu is placed in your chart, but whatsoever actions, energies and drive you are possessing and towards the things which you want to achieve or attain. So honoring the omens, like picking up the auspicious time, muhurta, for doing or engaging or initiating into any of the tasks or endeavors will become very important. And also, guys, if your Mars is placed in the Pisces, you need to learn how to unconditionally serve or being of use for people around you, rather than expecting out of whatever you are doing if your Mars is placed in the Pisces sign. So yes, guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs for the placement of Mars in all the zodiac signs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.